3 covered bowls sat on the counter, and the same tiny spice belonged in all 3 for a different reason. So which 3 foods were under the covers? One bowl was meant for morning, one could anchor lunch, the smallest was the easiest to overeat without noticing. Each could carry the warm aroma of clove, but none depended on the spice alone. That distinction matters after 60, when a food can be healthy on paper, yet still produce a difficult post-meal pattern because of portion, processing, or what it replaced. I'm Robert. At 83, I still prepare a simple breakfast, carry my plate to the sink, and take the stairs slowly when my joints agree. I do not credit one ingredient for those abilities. I protect them by building routines I can understand and repeat. The common mistake is sprinkling cloves over a sweet or highly refined meal and expecting the spice to cancel the structure underneath it. The aroma becomes stronger, the meal remains the same. Post-meal glucose reflects the complete delivery, the amount and form of carbohydrate, fiber, protein, fat, movement, medication, sleep, stress, and the body's current response to insulin. Clove compounds may participate, but they do not erase the rest of the plate. Think of the meal as a bridge carrying fuel into the bloodstream. Food structure can slow the traffic. Some components can change the pace and affect fullness. The clove is a small passenger with promising research behind it, not the entire bridge. Human evidence gives us a reason to take that passenger seriously, but the best 3 pairings are the ones that already bring useful structure of their own. Salad on the plate, pills on the counter, and the meter is still higher than you expected. If that feels familiar, even after cutting sugar and following your doctor's plan, pay attention. It does not mean you failed. Blood sugar is not a single switch controlled by one food. It is a 24-hour system shaped by your meals, movement, sleep, stress, medication, and the way your body responds to insulin. When that system remains under pressure, the effects can appear far beyond the meter in your energy, your eyes, your kidneys, and your nerves. Stay with me, because one overlooked piece is about to make the rest of this video click. And if you want to see how daily blood sugar support can fit alongside healthy habits and your doctor's plan, I placed a free presentation in the description below. The 3 foods are minimally processed oats, beans or lentils, and a measured portion of unsalted nuts. They are deliberately ordinary. You can recognize them, portion them, and place them inside meals that already make sense. Each pairing creates a different opportunity, so you do not need to eat all 3 at once. The point is to give the clove a solid food partner and give yourself a routine that can survive beyond one enthusiastic week. Start with oats. Oats contain beta-glucan, a soluble fiber that forms a thicker mixture during digestion. Controlled feeding research has found lower post-meal glucose and insulin responses when sufficient oat beta-glucan is present, although processing, amount, and the rest of the meal matter. This is where clove fits naturally. Add a small culinary pinch of ground clove while plain rolled or steel-cut oats cook, or steep one whole bud in the cooking liquid and remove it. The aroma can make an unsweetened bowl more satisfying. Do not turn the bowl into dessert and ask the spice to repair it. Sweetened packets, large honey pours, dried fruit, and oversized servings can change the meal substantially. Pair the oats with a suitable protein or measured nuts if that fits your plan. The second food is beans or lentils. Legumes carry carbohydrate together with fiber and plant protein. Reviews of randomized trials have found encouraging effects on glycemic markers, particularly in people with type 2 diabetes, though certainty varies across studies. Whole cloves are traditional in many savory dishes. 1 or 2 buds can flavor a pot of lentils, bean soup, or stew, and then be removed before serving. Ground clove can also work in a very small amount with cumin, coriander, or another seasoning profile. The clove's job is not to turn the pot into treatment. It adds flavor and contributes plant polyphenols while the legumes provide the meal structure. If the seasoned pot replaces a refined starch-heavy meal, the change is larger than the spice alone. Rinse canned beans when sodium is a concern. Increase fiber gradually if your current diet is low in it. Kidney disease, potassium restrictions, digestive disorders, and fluid limits require individualized advice. The third food is unsalted nuts in a measured portion. Tree nuts provide unsaturated fat, fiber, protein, and minerals. A meta-analysis of randomized dietary trials in diabetes found small improvements in fasting glucose and A1C when diets emphasized tree nuts, although many studies were short, and later nut-specific reviews have produced mixed results. Warm a measured portion gently with a light dusting of ground clove without coating it in sugar, or add chopped nuts and a pinch of clove to another appropriate meal. Portion them before eating. A large open bag can quietly turn a useful food into far more energy than intended. Now place the clove evidence beside those three foods. An early human study divided 36 people with type 2 diabetes among placebo and capsules containing 1, 2, or 3 grams of clove per day for 30 days. The clove groups showed favorable changes in glucose and several lipid markers, while the placebo group did not show the same pattern. That report appeared as a conference abstract, so important methodological details are limited. Still, it is a human signal involving clove powder, not only cells or rodents. A later open-label pilot gave 13 healthy or pre-diabetic volunteers 250 milligrams of a standardized water-soluble clove polyphenol extract daily for 30 days. Researchers observed favorable changes in pre- and post-meal glucose at selected visits. A randomized, double-blinded comparative study then tested a standardized clove bud polyphenol extract in 70 adults with metabolic syndrome for 84 days. Compared with synthetic glutathione, the clove preparation improved fasting and post-meal glucose, A1C, insulin, and a calculated marker related to insulin resistance. Taken together, these studies support a positive statement. Clove-derived preparations have shown encouraging effects on glucose-related markers in humans. They do not establish that a pinch combined with oats, lentils, or nuts will produce the same result. The preparations, doses, populations, and durations differed, and some research involved investigators connected to a commercial extract. The right conclusion is promising support, not certainty. Here is the practical stack. First, select one of the three foods as the meal foundation. Do not pile all three into one oversized meal merely because each appears on a healthy list. Second, keep the clove culinary. A pinch in oats, whole buds removed from lentils, or a light dusting on measured nuts is enough to create flavor. Essential oil and dry spoonfuls are different exposures and do not belong in this routine. Third, identify the replacement. Plain clove oats may replace a sweet packet. Seasoned lentils may replace part of a refined starch. Clove-spiced nuts may replace cookies or chips. Replacement makes the benefit visible. Fourth, compare the complete meal according to your glucose monitoring plan. One reading cannot isolate the clove, but a repeated pattern can help you and your clinician or dietitian refine portions. If insulin or another medicine can cause hypoglycemia, coordinate substantial carbohydrate changes with your care team. Do not remove food or medication to make the experiment look successful. Concentrated clove oil can be toxic when swallowed in large amounts and has been associated with severe low glucose, seizures, and liver or kidney injury. Clove compounds may also affect platelets in laboratory work, so concentrated products deserve caution with anticoagulants, antiplatelet drugs, bleeding disorders, liver disease, or planned surgery. On different days, my own kitchen may hold a small oat bowl, a pot of lentil soup, or a portioned container of nuts. Then I close the cupboard, call a friend, and get on with the day. The routine works because the food has a job and the spice stays in proportion. Consider a composite example named Irene, 73, who teaches quilting at a community room. She first adds cloves to sweet granola and assumes the spice should protect her from the entire bowl. Her sister looks at the overflowing dish and asks, "Which part of breakfast did the cloves replace?" Nothing. That is the missing question. Irene rebuilds the routine with her dietitian. On one morning, she uses plain oats with a pinch of clove and a suitable protein. At lunch, a whole clove flavors lentil soup, and is removed before serving. A measured clove-spiced nut portion becomes an occasional alternative to cookies. We assign no invented glucose result to Irene. The meaningful change is that the title now lives on her plate. Cloves are genuinely combined with 3 foods that already support a more structured meal. Look again at the 3 covered bowls. The morning bowl contains minimally processed oats. The lunch bowl contains beans or lentils. The smallest contains measured unsalted nuts. Cloves can add flavor and promising polyphenols to each, while the foods contribute fiber, protein, unsaturated fat, and structure. That is a defensible partnership. Human studies give cloves a legitimate supporting role. Nutrition research gives the 3 foods independent reasons to belong. Neither side has to pretend that one pinch controls every post-meal reading. At 83, I'm not looking for a spice strong enough to overpower breakfast. I want a meal sensible enough to work with the rest of my routine and flavorful enough that I will choose it again. Now you can see why focusing on one food, one habit, or one number may still leave part of the problem untouched. Blood sugar is influenced by a system that keeps working all day and all night. So lasting support is not about one miracle ingredient. It is about supporting the whole picture. And now you have a choice. You can leave with another interesting tip, or use what you have learned to build a more complete daily routine. Because the real goal is not to fear every meal or constantly worry about the meter. It is to feel confident in your routine, protect your independence, and keep living life on your own terms. If you want to discover the additional daily support approach I use alongside healthy habits and medical care, watch the free presentation in the description below. It reveals an overlooked gap that many routines may leave behind, and a broader strategy designed to support it. Watch it now while this connection is fresh. This supports your routine. It does not replace your doctor or medical treatment. Which pairing would fit your kitchen best? Clove oats, clove seasoned lentils, or clove spiced nuts? Leave one comment. Subscribe for practical ways to connect promising ingredients with stronger blood sugar routines after 6